and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mosic.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable as Ohio State survives Nebraska, gets set for a top four matchup at Penn State coming up on Saturday. We will talk about that for the next couple of hours with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey. Welcome.
Thank you, Skip. Great to be back.
Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Always glad to be invited to your party, Skip.
Hall of Fame coach, former Ohio State head coach John Cooper. It is always a great night when we get to spend it talking football with Coach Cooper. Great to see you.
Always good to be down here, guys. I'll look forward to it.
Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. 21-17, Ohio State defeats Nebraska. Coach Cooper, we'll start with you. So much to get into, but there will always be games where you're tested against teams that you wouldn't think that you would be. The most important thing about getting out of there Saturday with a victory was what?
Well, obviously, the way we played defense throughout the game, particularly in the fourth quarter. Like Coach said today or last week on his press conference, we won the fourth quarter and we won the ball game. Sometimes you have to win ugly. If there is such thing as an ugly win, they all count one. Put it in the left-hand column. But we can play better. We know that. But very disappointed. You convert 1 out of 10 third downs. You're probably not going to win many other games doing that.
Jim, injuries are part of the game, but the offensive line is going to be put really to the test with guys needing to be moved around a little bit. There's no easy fix, but what are the biggest challenges with moving linemen around, as it appears Ohio State's going to need to do, especially against a team like Penn State where one of their strengths is defensive line?
Yeah, that, and especially being on the road with crowd noise and things like that. No, it's never easy. When you get with a set five, you like to keep it just because you have that continuity, you have that communication, and guys understand what they're doing. And, Zen struggled a little bit there in that first half, but I thought got a little bit better as the game went on. Of course, we still, are having trouble on third down and 3 and outs and not being able to run the football, but his pass protection got a little bit better in that second half when we needed him to. But, with him being iffy, we don't know what his condition is going to be. Of course, he got, carted into the locker room. That's never a good sign at the end of that ball game. You saw what they did. They put Donovan Jackson over there from left guard to left tackle and then brought in, Luke Montgomery to play little guard. Now, what I would do is I wouldn't want to have a bunch of mass movement, like some people are like, well, I'll put Josh Fryer over there, but then, you got to put somebody at right tackle. And then, Tegra. Well, Tegra's trying to learn guard and get that mastered right now. Obviously Seth McLaughlin will be there at center. So I would think those three would stay at their same position. And if they have to, I'd put Donovan over there at left tackle, get him a bunch of reps this week, and, figure out whether it's Sareveld or Luke Montgomery getting some playing time at guard. But, you got to have a third tackle because, guy loses his helmet, busts a chin strap, something like that. Somebody has to be ready to step up and go in there and play for a series or a play or two. And, somebody else gets hurt, that would be real tough because you lost, basically 3 tackles then.
Paul, Coach Day talked about it a little bit about it today, but moving forward, you can't be one-dimensional offensively, but how much do you see Ohio State trying to force any semblance of a running game if those O-line challenges do exist?
Well, maybe some different things like screens to the receivers or the running backs to try and spread some things out. They're going to have to show the ability to be able to run and throw. And, Skip, the other important thing, and Coach Day brought this up today, and he talked about it last week, too. He warned those players. That Nebraska team that was coming to Columbus was not the same one that got ambushed at Indiana. So that's also part of the equation.
And Coach Cooper, you have to have some balance. You can't just go out there and just say it's going to be air raid, just going to throw the ball every down. You have to have some sort of running game, do you not?
There's no question about it. But let me make a point, guys. You don't just put something in. You got to work it in. Yep. You just don't move that center out there to left tackle and expect him to play real well, right? But we had last week. We had an open date, which I'm sure we made a few corrections, whatever, and we got this week to get ready. But you don't put it in, you work it in.
Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people, including an appearance from a former Buckeye player at your home for an away game this season. It's the Giant Eagle Ultimate Buckeye Homegate, presented by Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/homegate for your chance to win. Saturday, Ohio State is at Penn State. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable. 60-second timeout.
21-17, Ohio State takes care of Nebraska on Saturday. Guys, we have to start with this. The targeting penalty called on Arvell Reese late in the game could have been the difference in the game. I know the Big Ten went to the NCAA. They reversed their thoughts. What did the officials and the review folks, in your opinion, see at the time that many did not see on Saturday afternoon?
I'm not sure, because it seemed when we didn't get a great look at it in the monitor that we had in our booth, but what it looked like was the arm hitting the shoulder. Maybe they thought it was the neck. But you're right, Skip, it killed a fumble and a fumble recovery that could have kind of changed how things were going at that point of the game.
Looked like to me he did keep his head out of the contact. The only thing I could think that, again, this rule seems so subjective because, we've been going through it since, you go back to that Clemson game a couple years ago when we had that, and obviously with Marvin Harrison against Georgia. But I thought maybe since he extended his elbow just a little bit, that might have been a thrust that they thought would call it. But again, the whole thing with this rule is, what about the offensive player lowering his head?
Yep.
I mean, that's, kind of what happened with Lawrence, the quarterback with Clemson, when he lowered his head,
changed his position.
And changed his position. I don't know how you can, you can't stop.
And what's defenseless? What's defenseless?
That's it. And, he caught the pass. It looked like he fumbled it to me. It looked like a big play. It's something that you're going to have to look at and research, because right now you don't know what to tell your defensive players to do. How do you do it? How do you get after them?
Coach Cooper, you've had many discussions with officials throughout your long career. How would you handle that? I mean, that's just, to me, it was blatantly a non-call.
I'd say in a real soft tone, what is targeting? No. I'd probably come unglued just exactly like our coach did. I mean, what in the heck is going on, for goodness sakes? I don't think it's targeting if you hit with your shoulder.
Yeah, and
where I came from, it wasn't. You got to keep your head out of it.
Yeah.
And now I guess you look at it this way. I mean, although I thought it was kind of unsportsmanlike for our fans to throw stuff on the field, but that's 2-0. That's 2-0. I mean,
not
when
right. It didn't work right away. It worked a few days later.
It took a couple of days later.
Right, but it's again, that's just not what you want to do. And I think I even saw our athletic director down in the corner telling fans, raising his hands, trying to put him up.
The other thing I don't understand, why does it take them so long?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Goodness.
When it was taking that long, I thought they were going to change the call.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a tough game for the Stripes. I mean, other really questionable calls and spots as well. Just ask Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska, they got an explanation after the fact. A ball that was spotted that should have been a Nebraska third down, but it was moved back in a third down. So,
A first down, it should have been.
Yeah, first down, yes. Sorry, Jim, thanks. So, yeah, it's been tough. And, there was a couple other times we looked at it, too, from where we were like, wow, that's a generous spot, or that's, it's a tough job, and none of us would want to do it.
All right, next, the Buckeyes were just 1 of 10 on third down. The O-line gets much of the attention, but were there other factors that led to that stat?
I think it's the offensive line is a big part of it. Obviously tight ends block in there too, and the quarterback's got to make decisions whether to hand off or keep the ball. So there are other people involved, but that third quarter, punt, interception, punt, and a lot of those were 3-and-out type situations where you're just not getting anything done, and that's after usually we've been a team that made those third quarter of adjustments, come out of the locker room and go out there and put things together, but. Again, Nebraska made some adjustments too and was able to, slow us down. But look at it this way: since we lost, Simmons, our left tackle, Josh, in the second quarter versus Oregon, we had 12 carries for 19 yards in the second half versus Oregon, which we thought, hey, we got to fix the running game, blah blah blah. Well, then we come out, we have 31 rushes in this game for 64 yards. So if you add those up, that's 43 rushes for 83 yards since Josh Simmons went out. So it's one thing's been consistent. We haven't had a running game in the last 6 quarters.
And that's where I come back to Coach Cooper. I mean, sometimes are you forcing the run even though you know it's not there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think in this league, you go out there with the idea, we're going to run the football. We're going to be physical. We're going to knock you off the line. We're going to take ball control. keep our defense on the sideline. That's the best defense you can play.
And even, when you have an inexperienced offensive line, anybody will tell you they would rather run block than pass block.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you're trying to give them hey, give them a bone. We're going to run it. We're going to run it. Let you run the ball here.
We don't have small running backs.
No,
little running backs.
No.
Those guys are pretty strong. Give me a yard and a big quarterback.
You're right.
Next, we talked about it pregame. You guys mentioned it last segment. Nebraska was blown out last week at Indiana. And even though everybody was saying the right things, how much of it is human nature just to think that, hey, this is going to be easy when reality is it was not?
Oh, no question. And it's obvious. Nebraska played so much better defensively. Did Ohio State help that? You can maybe argue that, but they played so much better. You could tell they were embarrassed about what happened to them at Bloomington. Offensively, they performed somewhat better. And as talented as you can see that Dylan Raiola is, they still need another player or two at their small skill position to kind of get them over the top.
Well, that's something you got to be really concerned about this week, the running quarterback. Because coming into the game, I think Raiola had minus 78 yards rushing. And obviously that's at sack numbers that's working against him. But then he busted one off for 38 against Ohio State and, got it way down there inside that red zone. So, this week we know with Pribula that he's got the opportunity to go out there and run that football. He has throughout his career, and, he did that the second half in Wisconsin when, Aller got hurt there in that second quarter. He came in and, was able to use his feet, and he did a pretty good job throwing the football too, as far as percentage-wise. But, he's a guy that, if he is going to be it, that you better find a way to stop the running quarterback. And on the same aspect, you got a pretty good tight end there that you have to control.
I think with this portal deal, I don't think you're going to see as many bad teams as you used to see. I mean, look this year, Vanderbilt's coming up from Alabama. Yeah, Indiana. Look at Indiana. You shouldn't have a really bad team if you can go out and buy you some players.
But Skip, answer your question. There is some consciously, hey, we blew them out, but
like these guys, we can't relax against these guys. Yeah.
When you're 18 to 22, now in the NFL, like, hey, they're getting paid. They're professional football players. You got to go expect their best effort each and every time. So I think subconsciously that could have played into it a little bit, but still, you got to take care of your business.
All right, closing moments this segment. Let's get into Penn State briefly. The most impressive thing you've seen from the Nittany Lions would be what?
Their defense, as well as Tyler Warren, their tight end. But defensively, what they do with Abdul Carter, moving him all over the place. Zane Durant has been good on the back end. And Reed, the guy that had the pick six Saturday. They are an impressive-looking defensive team.
Coach Cooper, what do you like about Penn State?
I think the same thing. I think it's a talented football team. They recruit real hard on the West Coast. I think they're well coached. I think they're a better coach this year than they have been in the past because they've hired 2 new coordinators.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom Allen on that defensive side seems to have things working out for him. They're just giving up 93 yards rushing per game right now, so they've done a good job all year of slowing down that rush. And you're right, Jalen Reed, safety, got a couple picks for the year. They had a pick six last week. He has 44 tackles for the season, so he's a guy that can step up and make some plays, and he's going to probably continue to do that.
Well, they're dealing with some injuries as well. We'll get into that coming up later on. This past weekend around the Big Ten, a couple of surprises. We'll break it down for you next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Did the pandemic eliminate quality customer service? Well, many places it did, but not here at Heartland Bank. Imagine getting top quality service and good advice as well to help you down life's road. It's community banking, and it's alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The kickoff to savings event is here at AgPro. Through October 31st, we're offering 0 down and 0% for 84 months on John Deere compact tractors. Get a 1025R tractor with loader for just $279 per month, or a 3025E tractor with loader for only $349 per month. Visit your local AgPro store today. Offer ends October 31st. Limited time offer. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates with a fixed price plan from AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Far side, Wallace and Clifford. Near side, Dinkins and Warren together tight to the line of scrimmage. Warren wing left. A direct snap into Allen. To his left, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5 to the goal line. He's got it. Touchdown, Penn State.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network, Wisconsin had it close for a while, but the Nittany Lions is too much. They win at 28-13.
Yeah, that pick six. We've heard Ryan Day talk about it. One play can set up a game, and that pick six really did it. But, you know, the other thing that's impressive about Penn State, and I know we'll talk about them more, the way their backs catch the ball out of the backfield. One of their early touchdowns, one of their running backs caught a TD pass. It was Singleton. So that's one of the other things that they do offensively that makes them dangerous.
Yeah, and, you know, they outran them. I mean, 173 yards to 81 in that ball game. You know, they took care of business. And, you know, then when Aller went out and the backup quarterback came in, he led them on back-to-back scoring drives. That's going to give your team some confidence there. And, you know, the defense was able to hold it down.
Coach Cooper, Penn State just seems every year to find ways to win games when it looks like they're struggling a little bit. They just always seem to find a way.
I agree with you. I think they're well coached. I like their coaching staff. They're not as good as they used to be. The coaching staff's not as good as Joe Paterno, but I think they got a good coaching staff over there. They've hired new coordinators, and I think they're well coached.
To Eugene, could number 20 Illinois cause any issues for top-ranked Oregon?
Quick snap, pump fake on the screen. Want to go down deep. He's got low. Did he make the grab? He did. Just as low. Reaches back.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Oregon rolls Illinois 38-9.
Well, turnovers got the Illini in trouble. And might, Skip, we start to think that Dylan Gabriel's maybe somebody we should be thinking about for a Heisman candidacy?
You have to.
No, I agree. I mean, he's playing at a high level right now. You're right, 2 interceptions thrown by Illinois. You know, that doesn't help when you're going out there on the road to play out there. And, you know, Tez Johnson, I mean, he's a guy that can make some plays. 6 catches for 102 yards and a TD in that game. we saw his big playability a little bit against us. So, they got they're doing some good things.
You know what the score was at halftime? 35-3.
You're right.
35.
They took it easy on them.
They played all their seconds and thirds in the whole second half. They scored 3 points the second half.
To Bloomington, could Indiana remain unbeaten as they hosted Washington?
2nd down and 6. A quick snap to Taven Jackson. Back to throw. Fires it down the field. Catch is made. We're going to have a touchdown. The score is Omar Cooper. Omar makes the catch. A 42-yard play. Taven Jackson to Cooper for the score.
Don Fisher on Learfield. Indiana improves to 8-0, beating Washington 31-17.
Taven Jackson in the Kenny Guyton mold, the backup coming off and doing some good things. They mentioned something over the weekend about Indiana. They have, I believe, won every game by double figures, but also they have not trailed at all in a game in any quarter. Now, they've had a few of them they were tied, but they have not trailed in any quarter of a game this year.
And they're leaning on the running attack. I mean, Justin Sellison.
With a bunch of them.
Yeah, he ran 29 times, 123 yards in that game, got a TD. So, I mean, that's kind of been, Coach Cignetti's bread and butter from that offensive side. We're going to run the ball and then, hit you some play action and make some plays down the field. But they're sitting pretty right now at 8-0.
Complete new team from last year, right?
Oh,
with the portal and the head coach bringing, 13 players from his – James Madison.
Yeah.
Are you surprised they're not moving up in the polls?
Yeah, a little. But I think when the playoff poll comes out, that's where you'll see the payoff for them.
Yeah,
Are you surprised?
I am. I mean, I thought they would be a top 10
big time
team.
surprise.
I mean,
yes.
they're 8-0 and it's playing in the Big Ten Conference. Maybe some of the schedule that they didn't feel like they, had to play some of the top teams in the Big Ten yet. That's going to be coming down the road, and they're a legit football team. And what they have right now is a lot of confidence. I mean, and that'll take you a long way once you get into November.
Stems from the coach.
Absolutely. To Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes hosted Northwestern.
Trips to the right. They run straight ahead. Big hole up the middle. Look out. Number 2 is loose again. A touchdown, Iowa. Touchdown. 41 yards. Caleb Johnson, Logan Jones blew out the middle of that Wildcat defense.
Gary Dolphin on Learfield. Big third quarter for Iowa. The difference in the game, Hawkeyes roll over Northwestern 40-14.
And much like what Ohio State did, you see when Iowa gets in trouble, it's when Caleb Johnson can't run, but he ran like crazy.
Hamilton, Ohio product's doing pretty good running that football. He's got 16 TDs on the year, averaging 7.8, over 1,400 yards. 1,144 yards. So he's a guy that's been able to get it done. And, Cade McNamara got nicked up in that game. I think he had concussion-type symptoms. And, he's not even listening to 2 deep. So they're going to go with Brendan Sullivan. And good to see Sullivan against his old team get that victory.
Made some great halftime adjustments, guys. 28 points in the third quarter.
To Minneapolis, Minnesota played host to Maryland.
And now another third down. Maryland 0 for 2 on third downs. Minnesota 3 for 3. Edwards with Hemby next to him. It's a quick hitting pass, intercepted at the 30. Wally down the sideline. It's a homecoming pick 6. 30 yards. 20-0.
Mike Grimm on Learfield. Fast start for the Gophers against the Terps. They don't look back, winning 48-23.
Minnesota lost their quarterback in the portal to Rutgers. So they go out and get one from mighty New Hampshire, Max Brosmer, who really had a good day throwing the football in that game.
4 touchdown passes for Brosmer. I think it's a career high from him. I thought we'd see a little bit more out of Maryland this year because, they've been a team that, usually started fast. But they did start fast, but then the Big Ten starts. And now they're at 500, 4-4.
Then the Turtle goes
36-10 at halftime.
Then the Turtle goes in its shell.
Next to Ann Arbor, where Michigan hosted Michigan State.
Pistol formation, Davis Warren in a shotgun. Donovan Edwards deep. 2 receivers split to the left. Colston Loveland to the right. Toss sweep. Dono running right. He's going to fire. He's got a man at the goal line. Caught. Touchdown. Colston Loveland from Donovan Edwards. And Michigan makes it 22-10.
Doug Karsh on Learfield. This got chippy late, as you'd expect. Michigan over MSU 24-17.
Yeah, it'd be an upset if it didn't get chippy. But, Michigan seemingly found a little bit of a combination with the quarterback position, going back to Davis Warren, using Alex Orji. Now, they're still even more limited since Jack Tuttle has given up football once he's had another concussion. But,
5 for him?
I think something like that. But, Donovan Edwards, as we saw here a few years ago, he's a guy that can make plays in many different ways.
And if you look at Orji right right now. He was our leading rusher in that game. He had 6 carries for 64 yards and a TD in that game. And, you always think Donovan Edwards and Mullings of late, those would be the 2 rushers, but they're starting to find it from that quarterback position and using some creativity, with Donovan Edwards throwing that football.
Coach Cooper, just your thoughts on that rivalry. We saw what happened. It was ugly a couple of years ago in that tunnel, but it just seems like it gets nastier every year. Those teams meet up.
I don't think either team is as good this year as obviously they were last year. Mm-hmm. Both of them lost a lot of players and coaching staff, and that team that's got the best players, guys, usually wins.
Final stop is the Coliseum, where Friday USC hosted Rutgers.
Moss takes the handoff, throws. Mekhi Lemon, there he goes again. 20, 15, 10, 5. That's another touchdown for USC. Touchdown, Mekhi Lemon. And the Trojans have now opened it up to a 3-score lead.
Pete Arbogast, SC Radio, Trojans big over Rutgers, 42-20.
And they kind of got over the hump because they've been snake bitten for a while. But Miller Moss is a guy that he started off, especially in that game early in the year, was that they played LSU and beat them. Somebody else. But Miller Moss was playing well, then he wasn't, but seemingly now is in a good groove.
Mm-hmm. No, he is in a good groove. And, again, what's the record for teams traveling 2 time zones? Not very good. Not very good.
This is not a good USC football team.
No, it's not. You're right, Coach.
Well, they're 2-4 in the Big Ten. 2-4.
They're struggling. Minnesota's at Illinois this week. Purdue hosts Northwestern. Oregon will be at Michigan. Michigan State hosts Indiana. UCLA is at Nebraska. Iowa welcomes in Wisconsin. USC at Washington. So 2 familiar opponents here in the new Big Ten.
Yeah, really.
Now, of course, Ohio State is at Penn State, the marquee game really in the country coming up this weekend. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and is also available at OhioStateBuckeyes.com. Ohio State at Penn State coming up on Saturday. Up next, we are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger. Fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. We are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day coming up in just a couple of moments. Again, Ohio State is at Penn State coming up on Saturday. We talked about it a couple of segments ago, but Penn State's been a team, Paul, that has been hit by the injury bug as well. I mean, the biggest issues for them would be what?
Well, obviously with quarterback Drew Aller, but also they lost one of their defensive ends in the game last week, Dennis Sutton. He went out with what looked like it was a hamstring. He came back in, tried to play one play, but went right back out. So that, if he's not able to go, that's a significant absence.
No, I agree with you. That I was watching the same game and saw the same thing. I don't know if it was a hamstring or the growing area or whatever, but he tried to come back and give him credit for that, but just couldn't be effective with what he was trying to do and couldn't play the rest of the game. But as we said, the stud has been Abdul Carter the last couple of years. He's kind of like a Micah Parsons type body type. At 6'3". 250-something. All
right, again, Ohio State at Penn State, noon Saturday. Our pregame coverage will begin at 10:30 a.m. Joined for a couple of minutes now by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, you're just coming off the practice field. We were talking about it during the break. How do you balance the Bloody Tuesdays that you like to do, being mindful of some of the injuries you're dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, we got to go. We got to practice physical, and we may cut down on a couple reps, but the intensity's got to be really, really high because, the tougher team's going to win this game.
Coach, in that last game, you had 3 penalties, which is, pretty good overall. All of them were on the defensive side of the ball. Davidson Igmanosen, had a couple of those DPIs. I know one guy declined. What do you tell him? I know you brought him out for a play. What do you tell him in that situation?
Well, we love the aggressiveness, and that was something that we talked about going into the week, was we wanted to get up the line of scrimmage, get our hands on guys, throw punches, and really get after them. But once you get past 5 yards, you got to back off, and I love the aggressiveness, but we also have to have discipline. So, we got a couple ways that we're going to do that this week. Give him a couple. We have a way that we can really do that. We put boxing gloves on him to get his hands off him to stop grabbing. During practice. So we're going to do that this week. But like the aggressiveness, but we have to have discipline downfield and not grab.
Coach, if you would talk about something you mentioned today in your press conference, just the work that your secondary did, especially with players being put in new roles in a week's worth of work.
Yeah, losing Layson was a big deal. He's a guy who's played a lot of football. He's got a strong presence on the field, and so from Jordan, for Jordan to move from nickel to bandit was something I thought he did pretty seamlessly. I thought he played well in the game, graded out well, had the big interception at the end of the game. So I think that's a tribute to how the guys coach in the back end in terms of the concepts. Great to see Lorenzo jump in, Jermaine get some reps back there, and so having the 3 safety system allowed us to move some guys around to create depth.
Hey, Coach, Penn State's got a new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. Are they running the same offenses and defenses that they ran in the past at Penn State, or do these coaches bring their defense and offensive game plan with them?
Yeah. So Tom Allen, who was at Indiana as the head coach, was the defense coordinator there. And I would say on defense, it's a combination of things they've done over the years and, what Tom brings to the table. And then on offense, very, very new, different than what they've done in the past with their new offensive coordinator. They give you a lot of different looks, a lot of different personnel groupings, a lot of shifts and motions before the snap.
Coach, it had to be the shortest offensive film session that you've had in a long time. I mean, it might have went on because you're correcting a little bit longer, but 47 plays, that's the fewest you've ever had. You're averaging about 66 per ball game. And a lot of that obviously comes down to the third down conversions. What do you do to get over that hump?
Yeah, it was not a short session, I can tell you that. But yeah, it was a long session. It's to your point. It's we got an opportunity to get the ball in plus territory, and we go 4 and out. And, we have an opportunity in short yardage to get the first down. We don't. Then we go 4 on 4th. We don't get it. And then we go 3 and out. And continue the rest of the game. It really came down to not converting on 3rd down. And if you do, then now you're getting more cracks at it. And, the run game at times can take a little while against good defenses. And we never gave that opportunity because we did not convert on 3rd down. And that's the bottom line. And so, we got to start faster. We got to do a better job on short yardage and when we're in 3rd down situations, and that'll give us more opportunities to run the football. But I know in this game right here, we're going to have to run the football and convert in 3rd down situations and in the red zone.
Coach, the defense certainly did what they did to help you win the football game. But does that help the defense when Joe McGuire has the day he had punting the football?
Yeah, when you're in a game like this where you're not converting on 3rd down, you're going to have to try to flip the field the best you can. We did do that a couple times and allowed the defense, to play with a long field, and that helped. And I thought the defense really stepped up after the turnover when the ball started deep in the red zone and able to get that stop. That was a big part of the game. I think it was 14-9 at the time, and ball's on a 1-yard line, and the guy stepped up and made a huge stand right there. I thought that showed a lot of guts from the defense. And then coming in late in the game to close it out and win the 4th quarter. And then that's what we need. We need to, win the game in the 4th quarter of this game.
I thought you did a great job at the press conference today, Coach, putting real emphasis on that. You won the ball game, for goodness sakes. You put it in the left-hand column, right? And your defense played great in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I would say, most people would have thought coming out of the game we didn't win the game. But you're right, Coach. We did win the game, and that's the goal. The goal is to win the game. And so we have to do that again this week against Penn State.
So sometimes people might say you win ugly. There ain't no ugly wins. You just win. At the end of the year, how many did you win? How many did you lose? And it's amazing how many games are won by one play. One play.
That's it. And I think, even coming out of a game like that, guys understanding that, you don't just go out there and win. You got to convert on 3rd down. There's a ramification and consequence for everything that goes on in the game. And so, in this game right here, you don't convert on 3rd down, you punt, and then the score is going to look the way it did this past week or worse. You convert and you move it down the field and score touchdowns. The scoreboard looks different. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I think that's the ownership we all need to take.
Coach, last week you faced a tight end in Thomas Fedoni II. He had 4 catches for 50-plus yards in the game along with 33. I think everybody understands the challenge of what Tyler Warren, number 44 of Penn State, brings. Defensively, how do you handle that?
Yeah, he's a great player. He can do a lot of different things. He lines up all over the place, and so his versatility allows them to be very creative in how they get him touches. Good player, and so we need to know where he is at all times, and they try to move things around and hide him in different spots. So we'll make sure during the week, we have a plan on how to stop him.
Coach, we've asked you a lot about how Will Howard has played, especially how efficient he's been the last 3 games. How's he been as a leader of this football team?
Yeah, I think he's been strong. I do. And when you're talking about the quarterback and the center, I mean, they naturally are just leaders because of their position and what they do. The quarterback's in command every play in the huddle. He's running the team, and then the center is the one who makes all the calls up front, and typically is the leader of the offensive line. And I think both Seth and Will have done a great job of that this year. Stepping up and showing leadership. But I think everybody was frustrated on Saturday. When you're not converting, it's easy to get frustrated. So I give the guys credit for making that drive in the 4th quarter. When we weren't connecting, making that first pass to Carnell and then getting it down the field and scoring a touchdown. Would have liked to see us finish that 4-minute drive, but a lot to look at the film and get better at.
Coach, I was figuring the other day, I coached for a long time, and I took a team in over 90 stadiums around the country. This is the loudest stadium in football at Penn State, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure it gets any louder.
Plus, they let that PA system get too loud over there. You know that.
Yeah, however it works, it doesn't get any louder than this.
All right, Ohio State coach Ryan Day. We always appreciate your time, Coach. We'll see you Thursday for your radio show, okay?
Thanks, fellas.
All right, Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. You're saying that they push the gamut just a little bit over their coaches, push it to the edge, just beyond what they're allowed to do?
I don't know why they let them get by with it.
Tickle the lions.
Why don't we do it then?
Good question.
I think we try, but
that's the problem. Up next, we'll be hit the red zone. Tim May of Letterman Row will join the program as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you roll with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined for a few minutes now by Tim May of Letterman Row. And Tim, you asked Coach Day about this earlier today. You know, targeting will always be a discussion in college football. In your opinion, do we need one command setter versus conferences doing this themselves? I mean, we've seen some questionable stuff in the ACC. Now the Big Ten with some big-time egg on their face. In Tim May's world, what's the best solution?
The solution is the one they got. Have it go to replay review and have them get it right. You know, it was right there to see that, in fact, it wasn't targeting on Saturday. I watched it on the big board because I was already down on the field. I was about 25 yards away from the actual play when it happened, and I never thought he got up into the head and neck area, number one, Arvell Reese, and number two, you know, it was not a, he had already established himself, the Nebraska player had, as a runner, and I thought replay showed that clearly, but it did not. And the reason I was asking, Ryan about it again, because, coaches can't talk about this a lot, as you understand, because they get fined and whatever, but the bottom line is that was a huge play in the game, because not only did you lose a linebacker who was playing fairly well, you lost him, and you lost the ball because you had recovered the fumble on the play. So that had potential for huge ramifications in that game. And, Monday at least you got it rectified, but that's 2 days after the fact. They're not going to change the final score on anything no matter what.
Yeah, it just makes it, to me, so subjective when the offensive player lowers his head, and which
exactly, Jim.
They're getting ready for contact, which I don't blame them. You're bracing, but you can't. It happens in a rapid fire. Now, when you slow that down and you go, frame by frame, you ought to run those back at full speed, because that's the only way. That's the way the guys are playing it at full speed, But when he lowers their head, it's hard. Another question,
and you're
Tim.
Right. Wait. You're right though. The offensive player actually lowered his head.
Yeah.
Arvell just sort of got his out of the way, but it was what it was. Go ahead now. I'm sorry.
Now, when's the last time you saw fans at Ohio Stadium throw things on the field?
Man, I'm trying to remember. I know I've seen it before.
Been a long time.
I know Anthony Schlegel's tackle of a would-be streaker was very interesting way back when. That player threw himself onto the field, but I thought it was in that regard, I thought that was a very poor performance by the bottle throwers. Number one, who has a full bottle of water at the end of a game like that? Number one. But then number two, there were only eight or nine out there that I counted, because
most of it in the end zone.
I was going to get hit by one. Go ahead.
You sure that was water?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're hoping it's water or lemonade.
Because those other things are too expensive.
Yeah. You don't condone it, that's for sure. We're all laughing, but that's.
Here's one thing I wonder about getting back to that targeting. Who makes that final decision? Is it one person? Is it a group of people? Who makes it?
The editor, what they call the rules editor of the NCAA, is the guy who is the person who finally looked at it and said that was not targeting, and it came back up the chain. And in answering my question, Ryan made a good point. At least the Big Ten was for want of another term, man enough to step up and say that a mistake was made. You guys all know, Coach Cooper, you were around before replay, when they didn't get they didn't get a lot of things right, but there was no fixing to that, right? And
I don't know if I ever saw an official change his mind.
Exactly. That's why Woody wanted replay. Woody wanted replay way back in the 70s, because he knew it was possible. And you teach these guys certain things, and then a guy sees it the wrong way, and boom, you may be losing the game because of it.
Tim, do you think that leads to some indecision? And again, not to be piling on a profession that's got a hard job, but does this lead to some indecision at times when making a call on the field?
No, I thought the guy making the call did the right thing, because what Bill Carola's told us many times, you want the guy, if he thinks it's targeting, to throw the flag, then let the replay. And now they got the command center in Chicago that's supposed to be really looking at things, let the replay figure it out, because that was a bam play, as Jim was talking about, and in full motion it looked fairly close, but they still should have gotten it right with the replay review. It shouldn't have gone to the NCAA football rules editor.
I think they'd be better off if they got rid of the conference officiating and just had the NCAA officials, so they're all reading out of the same playbook, so to speak, because the ACC calls it. We saw, the SEC call it a little bit different. We played Georgia.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if those are the SEC officials, but still, Pac-12, they'll call it different when there was a Pac-12. The Big 12, they'll call it a little bit different. I think if you got rid of that and just had an NCAA official and that's it, they're all trained on the same guy.
Yeah, but the thing is that, the Big Ten now goes coast to coast, and the SEC almost does. Wow. So, if you're going to really make this serious, and it's serious, fellas, getting into that 12-team playoff, you got to have some kind of, cohesion there between the rules. I'm with you 100%.
Tim May, Letterman Road. Tim, we always appreciate your insight. We'll see you later on in the week, okay?
You got it, guys. Sorry we had to talk about the bang-bang play, but that is what it is at this time of the year. It
is a bang-bang play. And the one thing, you and I have talked many times off the air about how we wish it was always the same call. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, we'll check for targeting.
Yes.
As opposed to just calling whatever, and then you can't overturn it. It's just a pain in the rear end.
It is.
To see what's going on. Speaking of pain in the rear end. No.
I shouldn't laugh.
No. Coming up, hour number 2 of tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast top high school performances, and our weekly whip around the state. Week 10 regular season in the books. High school football playoffs are upon us. Our insiders access tonight. Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch will swing by. That and more. Hour number 2 of tonight's Buckeye Roundtable here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at donatos.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
I'm proud to play for The Ohio State University. I remember earning my first Buckeye sticker on my helmet. It gave me pride, it gave me energy, and gave me another reason to win. To be a Buckeye football player like me, Emeka Ibuka, is to know I am part of a legacy. Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, and as a 72-year-old brand, they know a thing or two about legacies. To celebrate these shared legacies, Weber launched an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State Premium Kettle Grill, inspired by our iconic helmets. Get yours at a local Ohio retailers.
At Bob's Discount Furniture, when you find a complete dining set that seats 6 and comes with an extendable leaf for only $5.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a sofa that doubles as a chaise, and a bed, and storage like my Playscape for only $9.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a queen mattress with world-famous Bobapedic memory foam and an 18-year warranty like my Treasure for only $7.99.
Oh my, Bob.
Well, there's only one thing to say.
Oh my, Bob.
Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports. Sports Center.
Good evening, Buddy Wells. We'll start with college football as we've got one of the biggest matchups of the regular season coming our way. As this Saturday, 4th-ranked Ohio State heads to Happy Valley to take on number 3 Penn State. The Buckeyes and Nittany Lions will kick off at noon on Saturday. Baseball tonight, the Dodgers aim for the 4-game sweep as they face the Yankees in New York in Game 4 of the World Series. They'll get underway in the Bronx in a little over an hour at 8:08. In soccer, they just got underway over at Lower.com Field as the Columbus Crew host the New York Red Bulls in Game 1 of the best-of-3 series in the first round of the MLS playoffs. They'll play Game 2 in New Jersey on Sunday afternoon. And it was a busy day in the NFL today. We learned that Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs is out for the year with a torn ACL. The Ravens acquired wideout Deontay Johnson from the Carolina Panthers, and the Colts are benching Anthony Richardson in favor of Joe Flacco. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back, everybody, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Saturday, Ohio State is at Penn State. More on that coming up. But right now, it's time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. Tonight's recipient is senior quarterback/defensive back Deshaun Green from Rhodes High School up in Cleveland. Friday night, Green was responsible for 7 touchdowns, throwing for 309 yards and 5 scores. He added 110 on the ground and 2 more touchdowns. Plus, he had 3 tackles on defense in Rhodes' 50-18 victory over John Marshall. The Rams are coached by Anthony Carbone. They're 5-4 and will face 10-0 Anthony Wayne in the opening round of the D2 Region 6 playoffs Friday night. Again, congratulations to Deshaun Green from Rhodes High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
7 touchdowns is a pretty impressive
Deshaun was getting it done.
Absolutely. That was not the only top one around the state, though, Jim.
No, sir. Lakota East running back Ryder Hooks had 21 carries for 219 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He also scored a 2-point conversion in Lakota East 24-6 win over Oak Hills.
How about North Royalton receiver Joey Calarco, 8 catches, 213 yards and a touchdown, leading North Royalton to a 44-37 win over Wadsworth.
I got a quarterback, Jace Bushelman. Gahanna quarterback. He ran 10 times for 138 yards, guys. 2 touchdowns. The Gahanna 17-6 victory over Pick North.
Watched a little bit of that on Friday Night TV. Chardon middle linebacker Alex Ash had 10 tackles, 4 solo, 2.5 tackle for losses, and a pass breakup in Chardon's 25-14 win at Riverside.
Fairfield running back Tyler George, 37 carries, 170 yards and 3 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough as Fairfield lost to Middletown 28-21.
Big Wally quarterback Eli Stumpett, was 15 out of 27 passing for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. In the closing seconds, his Big Walnut beat Westland 34-33.
3 big ones for him.
LaSalle quarterback Pat McLaughlin was 19 of 21 passing for 260 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He also ran for 23 yards and another score in LaSalle's 35-24 win over Elder.
Avon quarterback Nolan Good, 11 of 18 passing, 298 yards and 4 touchdowns, also ran for 47 yards and another score in Avon's 42-10 win at Avon Lake.
How about this guy? One of my former quarterback's son, Drew Belisari, had 3 touchdown passes. He ran for 125 yards. And another score is Watterson defeated DeSales 44-7.
Lutheran East quarterback Robert King rushed for 85 yards and scoring 3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversions and was 7 of 9 passing. Another touchdown as Lutheran East won at Warren JFK 36-15.
Lakota West quarterback Sam Wiles, 8 for 15 passing for 110 yards and a touchdown, and ran for another 150 yards and 2 more scores in Lakota West 41-0 win over Mason.
Hamilton running back Grayson Goldsmith rushed for 163 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hamilton defeated Sycamore 50-3.
Week 10 in the books. Lots of conference championships were on the line. Playoff positioning. We begin our weekly whip around the state in Logan County. Special teams makes the whip tonight. Here's WPKO's Chad Wilkinson.
The West Liberty Salem Tigers are champions of the OHC North thanks to a Gideon Cole 29-yard field goal with 11 seconds remaining as West Liberty Salem knocked off Fairbanks 29-27. Senior Josh Wilcoxon rushed for 3 touchdowns. Jack Bayhan had a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the fourth quarter. For the Fairbanks Panthers, Riker Green rushed 31 times for 249 yards and 3 touchdowns. Both teams are off to the playoffs this week. From 98.3 WPKO in Bell Fountain, I'm Chad Wilkinson.
To Montgomery County, some good ground game quarterback numbers as we hear from WING's Justin Kinner.
The Valley View Spartans knocked off Waynesville this past weekend 61-21 en route to winning the Southwest Buckeye League's Buckeye Division with an 8-2 record. Now, the Spartans were led by sophomore quarterback Brody Gibbs, who had a career night. Gibbs completed 6 of his 11 pass attempts for 56 yards, but it wasn't what he did with his arms. It's what he did with his legs. The sophomore ran for a career-high 197 yards and 3 touchdowns on the night. His previous rushing high, only 49 yards. Quite the night for the star sophomore Spartans quarterback. Congratulations to him and the Spartans on a great regular season. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
Southern Ohio, more good quarterback play as we say hello to WNXT's Mark Williams.
Wheelersburg junior quarterback Braylon Rucker guided the Pirates to the SOC2 championship and leading Wheelersburg to a 36-6 win on the road at Portsmouth West Friday night. Rucker was 9 of 14 passing for 146 yards with 3 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown. It was the 3rd straight game Rucker had 4 touchdowns. The Pirates head into the postseason with a 6-4 record and will be a tough out for any opponent they face. Mark Williams, WNXT Radio, Portsmouth.
Swing up to Muskingum County as a long streak came to an end Friday as we hear from WHIZ's David Kinder.
Folks in New Lexington had waited a long time for what happened Friday night. They had not beat their rival, the Sheridan Generals, in 11 years. But thanks in part to wide receiver Bentley Hansen, they were able to end that streak. Hansen caught 7 passes for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. And on special teams, he blocked a Sheridan punt, leading to a 36-10 New Lexington victory. The Panthers finished the regular season 9-1, and they will have a home playoff game Friday taking on Canton South at Jim Rockwell Stadium. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, I'm David Kinder.
Great whiteout play in a big rivalry game in Tuscarawas County as we welcome in WJER's Bill Hammerstrom.
New Philadelphia receiver C.J. Carlisle set the tone early in the Quakers' 42-24 win over their longtime rival Dover. Carlisle returned the opening kickoff 85 yards to set up the first Quaker touchdown. He opened the second quarter by taking a jet sweep pass 79 yards for the first of his 2 receiving touchdowns in the game. Carlisle finished with 113 receiving yards and 126 return yards on just 2 kickoff returns. It was the 121st meeting between Dover and New Philadelphia, a rivalry that dates back to 1896. For WJER in Dover, I'm Bill Hammerstrom.
That's a lot of big numbers there for that young man, no doubt. Speaking of big-time rivalry games to Knox County, the big Devil Dog game. Here's WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
The Danville Blue Devils won the Devil Dog game. Final score 36-6 as they secured the number 1 seed in Division 7, Region 27. Senior Aiden Burke ran 22 times for 181 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Senior Caleb Lucas had 6 tackles on defense, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack in the win for Danville. The Blue Devils will play at home against Bridgeport to open the playoffs this Friday night. Reporting from WQIO and WMVO out of Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
Back in the day, they'd be dancing the night away, celebrating at the Sir James.
Sir James, yeah.
Keels would love the Sir James.
And honey buckets.
Big bell bottoms, platform shoes, absolutely. We love defensive stats. That's and more as we head to Northwest Ohio and WNDH's Dave Kleck.
2 big-time performances in Northwest Ohio. Liberty Center defender Xander Zeider had 7 tackles and an interception, helping Liberty Center break the league record for fewest points given up in a conference season as part of their 10-0 record. And Fairview is headed to the playoffs, leading the way Logan Olinger with 11 catches, 151 yards. He had a TD run and an interception in their victory. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
Thank you, Dave. All right, final stop and a historic night in Mercer County as we hear from WCSM's Ron Brunswick.
Number 1 versus number 1 at Cavalier Stadium Friday night at stake in MAC Championship. Marion Local and Coldwater both came in undefeated at 9-0. My players of the game will be the Marion Local defense. They pitched their 7th shutout of the season, knocking off the Cavaliers 35-0. For Marion Locals now, new state record, 58th straight win. The Cavaliers, who came in averaging right at 40 points per game, they held the Cavaliers to just 187 yards of total offense on the evening. The Flyers have only given up 22 points for the season and played for the 9th out of 10 times with a running clock. It was their 18th MAC football title. Both teams now prepare for week number 11 as number 1 seeds in their respective divisions. Another major player of the game, little side note, the winner of the 50-50 went home with $22,480. I'm Ron Brunswick for your sports leader, WCSM.
Great whip, everyone. Will continue, obviously, throughout the playoffs, but a historic night out there. I mean, Coldwater is good. Yeah. They could win the state, and the Marion Local is just playing unbelievable.
Yeah, Coldwater's D6, Marion Local D7. How about that? 7 shutouts. I think it's 5 in a row. And did he say 9 out of 10 games with the running clock?
Yes.
Wow. That's a short evening.
Yeah.
Sell those 50-50 tickets.
How about it, man? There's some rich farmers back there.
Home teams, Moeller.
Moeller beat Muskegon High School from Michigan, and they will face neighborhood rival Sycamore in the playoffs.
St. Henry, how'd they do? I know they got in.
They won. They beat New Bremen. They beat New Bremen. And,
They host New Bremen this week.
They beat Versailles, and they've won 4 in a row.
Grandview is, again, they didn't play.
So they're hosting a game here Friday night.
Marion Elgin they will get. Upper Arlington, Coach, I know you've seen them a bunch this year. They will host Newark coming up here in Week 11.
Had a good year. Only lost 2 games all year.
How about the Hartley Hawks?
They beat St. Charles. They will have a rematch against Bloom Carroll, who they beat earlier in the season here in Week 11. So we'll see how they do. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder that chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein to fuel everyone, including Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye. Were there any big surprises in the top 25? We'll discuss after further review as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio
Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mosic. The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
12 yards away. Ward takes, gives. Martinez right up the middle, into the end zone. For Miami, touchdown. Martinez scores, and the sword falls on Florida State. Miami 35, FSU 7, and Damian Martinez just puts a cherry on top of the cake.
Joe Zagacki, Hurricane Network, Miami improves to 8-0. They beat Florida State 36-14.
And Cam Ward caught a touchdown pass in that game, too. And, we've talked about it before, Skip, but here's the interesting part with the way that ACC lays out. Miami does not play Clemson, and they do not play Pitt. Now, that all could happen possibly in a conference championship game, but just what a crazy way of having that league develop with Jim, you went through it with Iowa.
Yeah.
When you played here, the teams you don't play then end up kind of...
You tie them and...
Yeah.
And Coach Cooper, we talked about what's happened to Florida State.
I thought Florida State, with this new portal and all the money they got down there, I thought Florida State would be a lot better than they are. They're not very good.
They're the only FBS team not to score over 21 points.
We got Florida, and Florida State aren't any good, guys. That's
good for somebody else.
that's reading Miami's good.
Yeah. There are 3 other ACC teams without a conference loss. One got put to the test on Saturday in Durham, as number 22 SMU was at Duke.
Kevin looks to the sideline. Now they're ready to go with 3 on the play clock. 2nd down, 9. Give Rashard Smith. Big hole, touchdown! Quick 24-yard Large scamper. Brashard Smith put the Mustangs ahead.
Rich Phillips on
Sorry, what
Learfield.
happened? Couldn't tell.
SMU wins at Duke in overtime, 28-27.
You know, Red Lashley has done a really good job down there. He was one of those assistant coaches. You kept hearing his name mentioned for openings, for head coaching openings, and finally got it and you know, followed Sonny Dykes there, but kind of kept a good thing going.
How about the SMU had 3 fumbles and 3 interceptions and still win that game in overtime? I mean, that's 6 turnovers.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
To the SEC, number 14 Texas A&M hosted 8th-ranked LSU.
Watson and Theo to the left side. Le'Veon in the end zone from 3 yards out. Touchdown, Le'Veon Moss.
Andrew Monaco on Learfield. A&M a big second half to beat LSU 38-23.
You know, Kurt Cignetti's probably going to win all of the Coach of the Year awards, but Mike Elko is going to deserve a lot of credit for the job he's done there.
Lost only one to Notre Dame.
Absolutely. That A&M, I watched most of that game. A&M's a good, solid football team.
I don't think anybody wants to play them right now.
No,
I mean,
How about Marcel Reed, the quarterback, came in and ran all over him.
Yeah.
To Nashville next. Vanderbilt had a huge upset a few weeks ago against Alabama. They certainly couldn't do it against number 5 Texas, could they?
Here's Ewers with the snap, turns, swings it left side, ball caught open. Moore down the sidelines, say goodnight to it. Touchdown, Texas. DeAndre Moore got past the one guy who slipped C.J. Taylor and took it down the boundary, 25 yards for the score.
Craig Way on Learfield. Texas hangs on to win at Vanderbilt 27-24.
Yeah, nice bounce back coming off that loss. Quinn Ewers apparently a nice bounce back too. But, you know, Vanderbilt's maybe another story that's kind of getting lost in the shuffle. The job that Clark Lee's done, yeah, everybody knew about him when they took on Alabama and pulled off that major upset. But
again.
I know. What's going on down there?
Won 5 games. How about that?
You know, in most
They would
years,
go decades without winning 5 games.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned Ewers. He had 3 TDs, but he also had 2 interceptions in that ball game. Yep.
To Tuscaloosa next, where Alabama hosted Missouri.
Tight left side, one wide right. Straight handoff. And Justice lowers his head, runs over a man. Inside the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown, Alabama. Woo, man, Justice came down hard on the Missouri defense there. Running over a man and then running past the rest. 35 yards for the Alabama touchdown.
Chris Stewart's on Learfield. Missouri's starting to fade a little bit. Bama beats them 34-0.
Wonder what effect losing that defensive coordinator had, because he was the toast of the town, as we all heard about, down to the Cotton Bowl this past year. But they just don't, you know, that you'd have thought they'd have won the Super Bowl when they beat Ohio State down there in that game, but they haven't seemed to translate it into this year.
Yeah, Missouri lost their quarterback Brady Cook in that game. He had it left in the second quarter with a hand injury, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Next to the Meadowlands, where Notre Dame was looking to hand Navy their first loss of the season.
Shotgun to Leonard. He's looking towards him, taking a shot. Collins has the step. Here's the ball. Towards the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Bo money, Bo problems, Bo Collins.
Tony Simeone, Notre Dame Network, Irish Sail past Navy, 51-14.
Oh, we saw what you did there, and certainly what Notre Dame's been able to do is shake off the Northern Illinois hangover and just keep playing. And, you know, no surprise to anybody, they're going to have something to say about this playoff field.
Riley Leonard ran for 83 yards on 10 carries in that ball game.
That's why they brought him there.
He's been a difference maker.
They won 7 in a row now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, their win at Texas A&M maybe offsets the surprising loss to Northern Illinois.
Very well could.
To the Big 12, 11th-ranked BYU looked to remain unbeaten as they played at Central Florida.
3rd down and 8 from the BYU 38, and UCF still all 3 timeouts remaining. Jake throws complete to Chase Roberts, stays in bounds. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Chase Roberts makes the catch and stays in bounds and somehow scores for BYU.
Greg Rubel, BYU Radio Cougars, still unbeaten. They win at UCF 37-24.
You know, and this is a team that, you know, and we talked about it last week. Kalani Sitake was on the hot seat a couple of years ago. But this is like the shades of Liddell Edwards and Gifford Nielsen, the way they're playing.
They're unbelievable right now, you know, getting it done. And you're right. I mean, what was it, 89 when BYU won the national
84.
84.
Robbie Bosco.
Yeah.
Was it a share or did they get it all together?
I think they got it Well,
You know how the polls work back
I
then.
lose track. Kansas State's only loss was at the hands of BYU as they tried to stay in it Saturday. They hosted Kansas.
2nd down and 4. Johnson gets the snap. He'll run the football. 5-yard line. Goal line. Wildcat touchdown. Kansas State scores to open the 3rd, and they now lead 22-14.
Wyatt Thompson on Learfield. K-State comes from behind to beat the Jayhawks 29-27.
You know, and not knowing what's on their schedule, Skip, this is a kind of team, and Iowa State could be in that category too. They could really throw a monkey wrench into it with people like SMU and BYU.
Yeah, and Avery Johnson, the Kansas State quarterback, had a pretty decent day there, but just couldn't quite get it done. And that was obviously just a 2-point ball game.
Coach Cooper, Big 12, I mean, it's a lot can still happen here in the month of November. A lot of teams are right there within a game of each other.
You got 3 or 4 teams that only lost 1 game.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the playoff.
Final stop is the Mountain West. Wild game Friday as number 17 Boise State was at UNLV.
4th and goal at the 2. Bolt in motion. Fake it to Genty. Madsen rolls right. Throws for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Caught. Matt Lauder. Mr. 4th down. His 3rd 4th down catch on the season. And Boise State on 4th and 2 goes for it and leads it 19-10.
Bob Baylor on Learfield. Now, Boise's only loss was by 3 at Oregon. They win at UNLV 29-24.
And those who like to project such things, and it's easy to do before the season's over, some of these people, if you look at some of these websites, they're projecting first-round playoff game Boise State in Columbus against Ohio State with the guy that's probably the front runner for the Heisman.
Yeah, Genty had 33 carries in that ball game for 128. That's working that guy. Yeah, I mean, dang. See if he's ready to go here at the end of November.
They better rest him.
Exactly.
Our game at Penn State is really the marquee game nationally this week. The only other top 25 matchup has unbeaten Pitt playing at SMU. So some of that can start to work itself out as far as the Big 12. That and more coming up. All right, plenty more to get into. Again, Ohio State at Penn State coming up on Saturday. We'll discuss a little further as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. I remember seeing that CareSource heart around town and just knowing they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. And that means the world to so many children today. My name is Cardale Jones, and I was a CareSource kid.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mosic. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Well, Jim Lachey, topic of discussion all week is obviously going to be about the offensive line.
Yeah, when Josh Simmons went out there in the second quarter of Oregon, it kind of changed everything as far as what they're doing offensive line-wise. Of course, Zen came in for him. Zen had 2 weeks to get ready for the opportunity, and then he gets banged up there in the fourth quarter, and, you know, that changed their whole thinking, what they wanted to do. You saw the adjustments that they made. They decided to move Donovan Jackson out there to left tackle. I don't know if that's going to stick or not. We'll find out, obviously, on Saturday around 12:05, what they're going to do if they receive the football. But, that does kind of throw a wrench in what they want to do. I don't know if they don't feel George Fitzpatrick is that third tackle, but they didn't there at the end of that ball game. Of course, they had to, find a way to win that, and they were able to do it. But, yeah, that changes up your communication, everything. He's used to playing guard. Now he's got to go out there and play tackle. Sets are different. You're playing a little bit more space. If they give him a tight end, maybe some help or a back in the backfield, that would be something to be determined. But you hate to change up your whole offensive game plan just to protect one guy.
Our Two Deep report was presented by Elk and Elk, injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
For Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
And Jim touched on it a bit. Coach Cooper wanted to get your perspective. Obviously, you were in every meeting room, different rooms throughout the time during your long coaching career. I'll get Jim to expound on it, but from your perspective, explain to people why it's not as simple as moving guys around from guard to tackle or vice versa, left side to right side, et cetera.
I tell you, those offensive tackling, I don't have to tell Jim anything about how to play offensive tackle, but you got to bend your knees.
Yeah.
You got to bend your knees and move. Those guys are quick. I mean, they're arguably one of the better athletes on the defensive side of the ball to play defensive end, rushing the quarterback. So that tackle has got to move his feet and got to be quick. I think those interior people, you're looking for more strength, and again, they got to bend their knees too, but they got a more straight ahead type blocking. Usually they got somebody on their nose. That defensive end can line up out. He can line up wide, or he can line up on your nose. He can come inside. He can go outside. A lot of different moves.
Yeah, Jim. People may not understand the difference between playing guard and playing tackle. They're just big guy up front, just block. It's a totally different position.
No, I played guard in college, and what we did was left, right, and then we would run to the sideline and carry into play under Earl Bruce. So we had 3 guards that rotated. So it was just like you never got, which I guess is good because you learn how to play on both sides of the ball and. You don't get caught in just one stance or one certain thing. You got to be able to have flexibility to do it. Now, playing left tackle, as long as they did, it is. I mean, a lot of it is your sets, especially if you get a wide 9 out there. The thing is, if you try to rush and get out there too quick, what's he going to do? He's going to come inside. I mean, because you're going to get all your weight leaning one way. So you got to basically take that line of scrimmage back a yard, and then when usually on the third step, that defensive end's got to commit to something. He's either going to come upfield or he's going to come inside. So you got to be ready for contact on that defensive line's third step. And by watching film of the guy you're playing, you can kind of get a general idea from his stance what he likes to do out of a certain stance. We used to always say defensive linemen, they're not the smartest guys in the world, but they're big and strong and fast. So you got to figure out what they're trying to do. And, a lot of that comes through a lot of film study and when you get keys on guys, you don't really share it with a whole lot of people because you know that's something that you kind of the tells, so to speak, that you find on a guy. But it's something you got to be disciplined. You got to take consistent sets each and every time, and then you got to use the hands. I think what I saw with Zen a lot of times, his hands were down, right by his side pads. When you're doing that, you're presenting your whole chest. You got to get those hands up, almost like you're looking through a window. Where you got them up above you, thumbs in tight, so you can get your hands on them, punch him. Because usually, if you can get a good punch on a defensive end and stop his initial drive, guess what? He's going to have to restart. And then if you can get a guy to restart, you got to be ready for his best counter move, because that's kind of what that's going to come next is a good counter move. So it's something that you got to have a lot of discipline in. You got to be used to not hearing the snap count, because a lot of times in loud stadiums, when you're the left tackle, you're the farthest away from the quarterback. And, you find a lot of quarterbacks would look to the right on the snap count. I used to tell our quarterback, Mark Rippon, with the Redskins, hey, man, if you're smart, you'd want to, make sure I get that snap count and understand it. And we'd even get to the point where you're playing in these very loud games that you'd have the guard repeat the snap count. So we used to always go down, set, green 80, hut. So basically Russ would go, give me because sometimes you don't hear that first brown, so you don't know if they're on the second call of that. So the guard would repeat the snap count to me, like down, set, green 80. And then I can kind of time it up and be able to get off on it. But there's a lot of complication that goes into just to moving 2 or 3 steps to make a play.
Paul, it's like you and I trying to write with our left hand or whatever. It really looks sloppy then.
And when you go from left to right, it's a totally different. Everything's backwards. So you're right, it is.
Up next, our Insiders Report. Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch will join us as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Encova Insurance. Encova, a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
In Ohio State at Penn State coming up on Saturday, joined for a few minutes now by Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch. And Joey, both of these teams are dealing with key injuries. Which team do you think is affected more and why?
Just because their issues on the offensive line really prohibited for them from doing a lot of stuff Saturday. It was the first time since the Western Michigan game where they had allowed multiple sacks. The running game, I thought, regressed probably more so than they had at any point in this season. So until they solve their issues at left tackle, and I think it's a big question mark because it limits so much of what they want to do. But we're talking about two big injuries. I mean, there's a starting quarterback at Penn State, their left tackle. So it's not a problem or situation you want to be dealing with for either team. That's for sure.
Where do you look at Nebraska and their perceived strength on the defensive line as part of that whole equation, Joey?
They have a tough front, and I thought Matt Rule had those guys responding well. I mean, until the Indiana game, they had not allowed a rushing touchdown all season. So it's the oddity of this sport of college football where the sample sizes tend to be so small. If you look at Nebraska's first 5 or so games, it looked like a stout run defense. If you watch the Indiana game, it looked like one that could get shredded. So it's sort of however you want to look at the glass half full or glass half empty with Nebraska's run defense. But I mean, they've had some stretches where they were able to hold teams, and certainly they did that against the Buckeyes.
Joe, you got to think these are almost historic low rushing numbers for Ohio State. If you go back to 6 quarters, basically from halftime of Oregon to this game here, we had 12 carries for 19 yards the second half of the Oregon game, and we had 31 carries for 64 yards in this ball game. You can do the math. I can too. That's 43 attempts for 83 yards. I don't think I've ever had seen numbers like that out of Ohio State.
Yeah, 6 straight quarters really where they've had tough sledding moving the ball, and it felt like on Saturday if they could have gotten some of those third down conversions to go the right direction for them, maybe you started getting a little rhythm. Or it never felt like they got in a rhythm in the second half. I mean, Ryan Day kept mentioning that at his press conference today, 1 for 10 on third down, and maybe if you get 1 or 2 of them, you start to get in a rhythm and you help with the running game. But that's why some of those third and shorts and that they didn't pick up were so costly, I think, just because it never allowed them to get in any sort of groove.
Joey, Penn State and Oregon played on a neutral field. Who would win?
I'll take Oregon. I like their playmakers in the perimeter a lot. I think that's going to be a tough matchup for any team in the country. Just the weapons they have on the perimeter make it tough. So I think they get the edge. And especially the thing with Oregon is they don't even have Jordan Birch right now. Their star defensive end. When they get him back on the defensive line, I think they're going to be even more capable at the line of scrimmage.
Can the fact that Ohio State's had the success and the continued success over Penn State that they have, can that mentally play into any of this, Joey?
I think so. And we've seen it in games and series where one team gets in the head of the other. It sort of affects maybe the game management and stuff. I mean, when you think back last year to the Penn State game, it felt like Penn State had a chance to win that game if they would commit to running the ball, and they were insistent on having Drew Aller throw the ball even though he was struggling. So I just wonder about James Franklin and his game management in some of those games they played against Ohio State. And they haven't won since 2016. This is a scene where Ohio State's won before. Both their upperclassmen were they're in 2022 when they had that big win. So it shouldn't be an intimidating relative to maybe Austin just because they've played in that setting. So I think it does give Ohio State some confidence.
On fourth down, we've gone for it a lot this year. The first time we went with a run. We got stuffed, turned it over on downs. The second time, they threw it to Mecca. So usually on fourth down and short, you're not going to throw to your receiver just because so many things can happen when you throw the football. But it kind of shows you where we are with our offensive line. And I wonder if, going forward on fourth down with this group right now, might be something we have to put on the back burner for a little bit.
Yeah, which would be interesting if they do become a little more hesitant to go for it on fourth down, because I think Ryan Day's been a lot more aggressive this year in going for it in some of those situations. I mean, the Oregon game, they went for it twice on fourth down in minus territory. And then certainly, he's talked about maybe the analytics having more of an influence, and you have a new play caller in Chip Kelly, so he's able to focus more on the game management stuff. But I think that's right. If they don't feel as confident in the running game, maybe those situations aren't as inviting as they've been in the past.
Does the way that Cody Simon has played and getting the Blocko jersey and all of that make for good story material for somebody like you, Joey?
I thought, really played well at the end of that game. He's had a cool story, I think, just in and of itself, as somebody who was a starter 3 years ago in 21, lost his starting job after he hurts his shoulder to Tommy Eichenberg, watches Tommy Eichenberg, who started the middle linebacker for 2 years, then gets a shot to be that Mike linebacker, and he's playing really well. Everybody's talked about the Jordan Hancock interception to seal the game, but a big reason why Nebraska was facing a third and forever was there were two plays where Cody Simon snuffed out a screen pass, brought him down for a loss, and put Nebraska in a tough spot with the freshman quarterback. So he's played really well this year. I thought he really shined at the end of that game. You kind of feel his emotion after one of those stops. He pounds his hands on the turf. So that was a cool moment for him.
The one consistency with his offense has been Jeremiah Smith catching touchdowns every game, and now he's got 8, tied the great Chris Carter for 8 touchdowns as a true freshman. Has there ever been another freshman in the country that's caught touchdowns in 7 straight ball games? That might be something you can study.
Yeah, I asked Ryan Day about him today, and he said usually most of the freshmen across the country get to the second half of a season, they start to get frayed, but there's really been no freshman wall with him. It seems like each week he gets better and better, and he's going to get more attention from the defenses, but they've moved him around a little bit. Chip Kelly mentioned the 60-yard touchdown he caught. They moved him inside a little bit, and he was able to score from that position. So his consistency, I think, has really been impressive, and that there's not been a drop-off, and he keeps to seemingly build and build. It's remarkable because there have been so many good receivers at Ohio State in recent years who have come here, and they've not necessarily played as a freshman, and not only has he played, but he's as important as any player on that offense.
Joey Kaufman of the Columbus Dispatch, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you Saturday, okay?
Hey, it's good talking to you guys.
All right, Joey Kaufman again does a great job covering the Buckeyes for the Columbus Dispatch. You can check out his stuff at dispatch.com. Up next, we will unbelievably wrap things up with some chalk talk tonight. Ohio State at Penn State. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local Big K restaurant, to grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. That includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom crown, OSU crown. Only at Burger King, where you...
Like one of these?
It's exactly like one of those. Where you rule.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
Nice looking hat. Looks good on you. Delivery of the game. Who needs to deliver most for Ohio State to bring home a win on Saturday?
Oh, let me defer to Jim on that.
The offensive line, right? I mean, come on. That's easy right now. No, seriously, they got to get it together. They got to have one of their best games against a pretty good defensive line, and then playing on the road. That's not, it's one thing playing at home and get the home crowd fans and all that stuff, but going into that hostile environment, those guys have to step up and make some plays and protect the quarterback so he can have time to work, because I think we have receivers that can go out there and get things done.
Ohio State only picked up 11 first downs against Nebraska. It's slightly skewed by 2 long touchdowns, but still keys to moving the chain, Coach Cooper, especially on 3rd down.
Well, no question about it. I thought Coach did a great job talking about if you gain a first down, goodness gracious, you're going to have the ball for another 3, 4, 5 minutes and run another, 6, 8, 10 plays. Let me say who I think is going to be the star player this week, and I hope he does, is number 18. Number 18 for us, a quarterback.
Oh, yes.
I mean, here's a guy from Pennsylvania that Penn State didn't recruit, and that was his dream to go play for him, and now he's going back, and wouldn't that be great to see him? I think he's going to have his best game ever this week.
Good to see. Last time over there, Paul, we saw one of the best defensive line performances ever.
What Jalen Tuimoloau did was a career within one game. 6 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, and one of them a pick 6.
He was on fire.
And I just remember that pick 6 toward the end of the game where Clifford went back to throw, and he looked off to his right, and he just threw it, and there was Jalen just there to jump in the air and grab it, and nobody between he and the end zone. It was shocking to see it, let alone I can only imagine what it was like for Clifford.
We've had some pretty good defensive line performances. If I remember Joey Bosa getting the
walk-off sack.
Tackling the whole backfield.
Never even heard that phrase before.
How about Scott McMullen coming off the bench, throwing a game-winning touchdown to Michael Jenkins?
I was going to ask about that next. I mean, we've seen some great games over there throughout the years. Favorites, Coach Cooper, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 1995 was your favorite game over there against Penn State. The Ricky Dudley catch and Eddie scores at the end.
Go cover two and the tight end down the middle. Ricky Dudley.
And that was after the year that Penn State got you big over there in '94, so that was good. But you bring up the McMullen game, that has to be up there.
And Craig Krenzel gets hurt. They take his helmet away, and Scott McMullen comes in and throws that game winner.
You have a favorite, Jim?
I think the Bosa walk-off sack.
Who's ringing? Who's ringing?
The atmosphere there.
Not my ring.
No, it's not mine.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hello.
Sounds like my granddaughter's phone.
It could be. I don't know. But do you have a favorite, Jim, that was over there?
No, I think the walk-off sack that we brought up. Okay. I think that was impressive, just in that atmosphere. I believe it was a night game, so things like that.
Buckeyes in the NFL. Lachey is still kind of glowing from the Commanders' walk-off performance on Sunday, but talk about some Buckeyes.
How about that? Noah Brown coming up with that Hail Mary catch from Jaden McDaniel. Just, one of those things that you... As a team, you think there's 2 seconds left. You got to go 60-some yards. There's just no way. The game's over. It's not going to happen. And he bought enough time for Jalen McDaniels to go out there and make the play. And then, the tip. And then he just sit there in the end zone waiting for that little loaf of bread to fall into his hands and brought that in. Terry McLaurin had a heck of a day, too. Marvin Harrison had a heck of a day. Over 100 yards. Garrett Wilson played, very well. Chris Olave stepped up. But how about Cam Hayward? Mm-hmm. He's now got the most games in Steeler defensive lineman history.
That's shocking.
202 games that he's played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Incredible. Congratulations to Cam Hayward.
Coach Cooper, thanks for coming down tonight. We always love talking football with you.
Thanks for having me. I always enjoy it.
We'll do it again coming up next Monday night. Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Bodie Wells, and for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. As always, thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Attention, small business or sole proprietors. Do you want to save money on health care for your business? Be able to cover your employees with the best dental, doctors, and hospitals? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter for the SACA Benefit Plan. Nearly 100,000 members strong in the state of Ohio. The SACA Benefit Plan is administered by Anthem and could be right for you. Small businesses, visit 844-MEDOhio.com. That's medohio.com. The SACA Benefit Plan could be right for you. Visit 844-MEDOhio.com.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons, located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greensons.com for all your Kubota needs.
This football season, choose chill and go with the beer that's made for Ohio State game day. Whether you're at the shoe, the bar, or the basement, bring the Silver Bullets.
You can win tickets to the game against that team up north on November 30th.
Enter keyword kickoff at CoorsLight.com/college football.
No purchase necessary. Open only to residents of Ohio through 10/31/24. See official rules for details at CoorsLight.com/college football. Coors Light, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. 21 means 21. Celebrate responsibly.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete,
and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dorn, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.